Alright. Sorry for the terrible angle. I am at work. Trying not to show my uniform because I don't want to get in trouble. But the good news is that we are closed here today at work, so I'm just kind of just sitting and watching everything. So I do have time to talk to y'all about Tanacon. Nothing against Tana. I'll be honest, I'm not like a big fan or anything like that. I'm really new to YouTube and just starting to watch a lot of other creators more than I used to, and from what I can gather, and this is not hate, this is literal breakdown on the convention process. And I have been working conventions. I worked in anime conventions for the 6 years, from 2007 to whenever, and then after working them for so many years, I started to attend them, so I have seen both sides of the convention life. It takes a lot, like a lot, to plan a convention. You definitely cannot plan a convention in a month. Like, I tried to plan a panel for a convention and it took well over a month and I was still denied for my panel. You cannot plan a convention in a month's time. You just can't. And the fact that she tried to said a lot about the fact that she obviously did have a vendetta against VidCon. And from what I've gathered, VidCon is not exactly being fair to even their creators or their fans. And that needs to be fixed as well. But if you're planning on planning a convention and doing it within a month, you're asking for failure. You, again, nothing against Tana. Like, from what I've gathered, she's pretty cool, and I give her a lot of credit. Like, you have no idea how much credit that this girl really does deserve for trying to pull out a feat such as this. But the way she went about it was completely wrong. If you want to get back at another company like such as VidCon for treating people the way that they do, don't plan it in the same exact weekend. That just says, oh hey, we're going to compete against you, and it's just asking for a lot of controversy. You're just asking for hate. You're asking for all this drama to blow up. So not only did she plan it the same weekend as VidCon, she planned it right across the street and did it all within a month. So that right there alone says vendetta. I think she gave herself bad luck for this, because when from my personal experience in having a lot of issues with anger and mentality and depression and anxiety, I've noticed that every time I've gotten malicious or tried to get somebody back and go about it the wrong way, it always has blown up in my face. It has always made me the butt end of the joke, and in this case it kind of did that to her. When you plan a convention, you have to spend months planning it. You should have known the times that your other creators were on stage at VidCon so you can plan around it. On top of that, you probably shouldn't have planned your convention the same weekend as VidCon. That just said a lot about you, and not in a good way. And this is like talking to Tana, whether she sees this or not. This is just, again, from my personal experience. This is not to put any hate out there, so please don't go hating on a person, like saying, oh, you're stupid or anything like that. This is not the case. This is just, I wish she would have taken the time, because obviously this thing was successful in a sense. But all the footage I've seen was disasters. And from being in conventions for the last 10 years, just attending and working at them and volunteering, it's a lot of hard work. There is going to be a confusion no matter what kind of convention you go to. There are always going to be issues. A lot of issues I have noticed throughout the years. Oh, excuse me. A lot of the issues I have noticed have been with ticketing, organization, line control, not always security, but definitely overcapacitating rooms. There was one year I went to a convention here in Ohio that I absolutely adore. It's called OhioCon, and I couldn't get into the dance rave that they hold on the weekend because they held it in the ballroom and overcapacitated to the room. And when we could really tell how badly it got overcapacitated when during one of the songs there was like a freeze and then a jump. Everybody in the entire room jumped, and people in the room felt like they were gonna fall through. The people underneath the ballroom was like, what was that? All the meanwhile, I'm still standing in line because they're no longer letting people in unless people come out. And that is due to the room being at capacity or over capacity. Well, after that jumping incident where everybody felt like the room was going to cave in, the hotel manager said, that's it. The rave is done, and if you do not shut it down, I will call the fire marshal and have you shut down. And when that happens, the people of the convention holding the convention are going to get a fine, and the hotel themselves might look at it like, you know, you put our hotel at risk for damages and everything. We don't want you back next year. And this convention that I was going to was already nearly like 10 years in, had this location secure for those 10 years, and basically almost ruined it overnight. Thank God they didn't, though. It only had gotten bigger and better and expanded into the convention center, which is beyond belief. Till this day, I still hold this convention to insane standards. And I've given a lot of love and blood into this convention. Unfortunately, I don't volunteer for it anymore. I just attend because I just got tired of volunteering. And when it comes to volunteering, you don't get paid because you're volunteering. First of all, the only people that actually get paid are the people who own the convention, and that's because they have to pay for the hotel. Because when you rent out a hotel or even a convention center, you're paying for the time that you own, that you're owning it. And in OhioCon's case for the convention center, even when the convention was shut down for the evening at like say midnight, or no more panels were in there, they still had to pay for security for 24 hours in the convention center, and that was just the convention center's rules separately from the convention itself. So they had to pay for 3 days solid, 24 hours, so that's what, 72 hours altogether they had to pay for, just for part of a convention center. And then on top of that, they had to pay the hotel for the entire weekend, and then they also had to advance pay a block for all these rooms just for staff to stay in, and then they had to make sure that an extra block of rooms was reserved for particular convention guests. And then because of that, convention rates on hotels are not lower than the normal days, they're actually higher. So like say a normal room at like about $100 a night is now going to be at least $10 more or even more per night, just for a basic room. Excuse my mess of hair. This is what I look like when I'm at work. Whatever. So it takes a lot, like a lot of planning for a convention. And on top of that, after you book the hotel, after you get the venue, after you make sure the rooms are, blocked, then you have to plan your events, your panels, your, and that's everything from individual artist panels to group panels to concerts to events. Like the anime conventions I go to, it's almost impossible to see everything in every one. There are creator panels, there are voice actor panels, there are panels run by attendants who, like I have tried to apply for in the past, where I do an immersive zombie panel, which is like a what if a virus broke out, you know, a mock outbreak is what I wanted to do. Excuse me, my phone's going off. It literally takes months and months of planning, and then what really upset me was that you're promising your guests all this, and then It's like your gift bags and everything, and then you disappoint your fans. I hope that never comes down to me like that. I would very much put in greater care and planning. If you're planning a convention because you want the artist to have a genuine experience with their fans, or you want the fans to have a genuine meet and greet with the artist, don't plan your convention in a month out of wanting to just get back at somebody else for treating you badly. That just speaks bad on you in return. It's like a boomerang effect. You know, what goes around comes around. And I give you, like, again, I give you so much credit for trying to stick it to them for what they've done wrong, you know. I just think you went about it in the wrong way to get back. And I think it would be much more successful if you've taken the time. You need to take at least like a 6-month planning area, 6 months to a year to plan something that massive. You also can't expect to promise a better experience with somebody on a smaller scale, such as going from 30,000 people to 5,000 people. If you have over 1 million followers, you have to estimate a quarter of that to be of people to be there, especially if you're offering for tickets to be so cheap as much as free. You want to estimate probably about at least half of the number of your fans, because word of mouth gets around and you have to think about your fans. Like Joe Dirt has said,
it's not what you like, it's the consumer.
So Tanacon Joe has 3.5 million followers. Just for 1 million followers, you would want to expect around 50,000 people to want to attend. Whether they can or can't, you have to estimate the desire of attending from these people. Because then you have these kids, these young kids who beg their parents to take them to see these things. And a lot of parents do that because they want to make their kids happy, or they're just like, okay, well, my child is genuinely interested in this. I saw tweets where this one parent, or the set of parents, who was like, my child traded in their sweet 16 for us to attend to this convention. So they've spent nearly $1,000 to take their child to see this convention, to see all these other creators and artists that they're not going to give a chance to, and now they're not even sure if they're going to get their money back. And she has tweeted that she promises that anybody who's really that upset with their money is going to get their money back. And then on top of that, apparently somebody that she invited, which I don't want to give them their name out simply because I don't condone it, and this person was accused for sexual misconduct. And you want to tell your fans that it's a family-friendly convention, all the meanwhile while inviting a sexual predator and handing out condoms. That's a bad message. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, oh yeah, it's a family event, but I totally approve of sexual misconduct in any form, and especially when it's older people to younger kids, without consent. And to top it all off, let's just give a bunch of condoms for everybody to go crazy. Is it just me, or is that what seems fucked up about that? Like, or what seems right about that? Like, again, excuse me for these bad angles. I've got chipmunk face. But I knew it was gonna fail. I was really hoping it wasn't because of the mass amount of people, but after finding out that she booked a venue that wasn't even gonna hold the amount of people expected to come, like, if you expect a venue to hold 5,000 people, right? And then you sell 5,000 tickets and promise more. Like, I'm just so confused. Am I missing something? Please tell me if I'm missing something, because people miss things all the time, and we make our own opinions, and it's not always necessarily the right opinion. But I'm really coming from a place of experience, not a place of hate, just a place of saying, hey, I recognize that you did this wrong, and I'm not trying to just tell you that it's wrong, because it's a huge feat. It's a huge challenge to take on your own, out of nowhere, just out of the blue. It's coming from a place of constructive criticism and experience and just wanting to see it get better. I genuinely want to see it get better, because the idea she had was amazing. Like, I would love to throw a convention like that, to be able to be loved like that in order to even throw a convention in the first place. In the future, I would very much like to see Tanacon grow. What happened, it is very unfortunate, and I think it got canceled for the whole weekend, and it's an opinion. We're allowed to have it. It doesn't have to be obeyed. It's an opinion. In my personal opinion, and with my advice to Tana, is take time, recover from this. After you take your time to recover, immediately start laying down the base plans of what you want to see for the next convention, and how you can make it up to your fans, how you can make it better. What it all comes down to is just time, planning, and consideration for everybody involved. And I honestly, I absolutely adored Shane's idea of just making it an entire tailgate. Like, forget the hotel. We've got more people out here in the parking lot than we do inside. Turn the entire event into a tailgating event. He was offering to get a food truck so people could have food and water and stuff while sitting in line, which is another thing you need to estimate when you have people standing outside. And to the fans who attended, please realize that people of that number, with everybody going crazy, whether you were one of the people that was like, oh my god, I love you, whether you were one of those people or not, it's gonna give you a worse experience in return if you do act like that and try to bum rush a creator or a celebrity or a person who's being featured at the convention. Which in turn is going to ruin it for everybody else, and then everybody's going to get mad, and everybody's going to blame the wrong person, when really it only takes that one person to ruin it for everybody. And it can be from under planning to the wrong invitations being sent out and such. All in all, it was too chaotic, and it was too little planning, and came from a place of bad ground to be even started. But in the future, please take the time to plan better, plan more accordingly, keeping your fans in mind more, not just what you think that they want, but actually ask them like what they would want. That way it would give you the time to plan that for them too. And then you got to think about the flow and the organization. You can't throw everything together in the last month. It's just asking for failure. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why you wanted to do it within a month, other than coming from a place of ill intent because of your vendetta against VidCon. I think it was wrong. And anybody can say what they want to me. Again, this isn't coming from a place of hate at all. Like, I don't hate Tana. I wish her the best. She's come a long way. This is coming from a place of experience, being on both sides of the convention realm, and in the convention scene, and from a place of constructive criticism, because I really do want to see it get better. I want to see her be more successful. I want to see this con grow into the status of like some of the conventions I've been to, and I wish her all the luck and the best of everything, and I want to see her recover from this, but I also want to see her take the time to plan a better one in the future and not just throw it together in a month. And please don't hold it at the same time as another major convention is going on, because in doing that you also weren't thinking about your fans who might actually want to attend both, because they had twice as many creators attending as Tanacon did. Granted, again, planned within a month with that many creators coming, props. Major props. Freaking awesome. Wish I could have experienced the failure that was Tanacon in history this year. Or like this last weekend. But I just needed to come on here and record this because, again, place of experience, like a decade of experience on this, and wanting to see her get better, and recognizing what went wrong and what could have gone better, and it's all about timing. It really is. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you have, please don't send Tana any more hate. Like, I agree that refunds given out. Like, I agree on that. But please don't just go over there and call her a loser or anything. Don't. And please don't leave any hate on my page. I don't dislike her at all. I'm still new to this, and this is just a reaction. But thank you. Please have a good day. I love you. Bye.